Welcome back to yet another edition of So You're Interested In, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into that artist's catalog. And on this week's episode, we take a step into the chaotic world of the Philly hardcore crew, Soulglow. Utilizing hardcore punk to its fullest potential, Soulglow are on a mission to create some of the hardest hitting music you have ever heard, all while making sure that their voices are acknowledged in terms of social justice. To be blunt, Soulglow are realer than real, and if you can't deal with that, then you shouldn't be listening to their music. Since 2014, the band has released a handful of albums, EPs, and singles, all chock full of their signature sound of brash noise. As always, I'll be talking about 2 albums and 3 individual tracks that I think you should be listening to if you want to get into Soulglow. Let's go straight into the albums. The first Soulglow album to check out is their 2019 album, The N-Word in Me Is Me. It's no secret that I love this record, as I named it my second favorite album of 2019. Full of rage, anger, and wit, this album is the complete package in terms of modern day hardcore. For instance, the song 32 pushes the boundaries of hardcore by incorporating these rapid hip-hop percussions and piercing lyrics. Once the song finally rips open into a barrage of guitar strikes and unrelenting screams, the song refuses to calm down for even a second. Next, 31 is a whirlwind of a track. Just like most of their songs, 31 tackles the systematic racism that can be found everywhere in this country, all over an uncompromising instrumental. However, the second half of the song does slow things down a bit, relying on a simple looped beat to bring the song to an eventual halt. The last track to pay attention to on this album is 24. Let me start by saying that the drums in the beginning of 24 are absolutely insane. Pierce Jordan's lyrics and vocals are irate, leaving no man unscathed. The N-Word in Me Is Me is an incredible piece of art and is the best starting place if you want to get into Soulglow. The next Soulglow record to listen to is their 2016 album Untitled LP, with a solid mix of old songs from their previously released album Untitled, along with a handful of new tracks. Untitled LP is a 20-song massive spread of hardcore goodness. Starting with Untitled 3, you are immediately greeted with speaker-shattering shrieks and relatively slow instrumentals. The droning guitars and methodic drums don't last long, however, as the song finds its groove until eventually blowing up like a stick of dynamite. Next up, Untitled 7 is much more in tune with other classic hardcore songs. Jordan's screams feel scratchy and worn, all while the instrumental finds a blend between nitty-gritty punk and something akin to doom metal. Needless to say, this is a pretty crazy track. Finally, be sure to hear Son of a Gun. The raw guitars and primal drums will leave your ears ringing and blast your headphones clear off your head. Son of a Gun is in a constant state of change, building up, breaking down, and doing everything else in between while still being a cohesive track. Untitled LP is absolutely worth a listen, especially if the previous album had you hankering for more Soulglow. And with that, we made it to the tracks. The first track to check out is Guilty of Being Wait, which is the lead song off their 2015 Untitled album. As Jordan points out in this song, this is a track all about the black experience. The lyrics are a dark look into the everyday challenges of being a black man in America and cover some pretty awful topics to say the least. Strangely enough, it's the bass on this song that stands out so much to me, feeling ever present on a song that demands every instrument to be brazen. Guilty of Being Wait is a quintessential song in Soulglow's discography and is required listening for anybody who wants to get into this striking group. The next song to listen to is The Things I Carry, which is straight off of their Live at WKDU release. The biggest reason you need to hear this is because you get a chance to experience just a sliver of what a live Soulglow performance has to offer. This track rips your organs out and stuffs them back inside you with the thrashing guitars and rattling percussions. Hearing Jordan's vocals live is also a feat in and of itself. All that I can really say is that The Things I Carry kicks ass up and down the street. It's certainly worth your time. The last track to check out is Quietly Do the Right Thing, which comes off of Soulglow's latest release, Songs to Yeet at the Sun. And yes, I do agree this is the best EP name of 2020. The guitars feel like they could have been ripped straight from an Iron Maiden song, with the feeling of sheer power and might. Quietly Do the Right Thing is as tense as a hardcore song can get. It feels like constantly falling down a black hole of pain, anger, and terror. Jordan's vocals bounce inside your head like a tennis ball covered in gasoline that's been torched to bits. Be sure to check out this incredible track. And that is all that I have for you this week on Soulglow. Make sure to give this band a listen if you're into hardcore or even punk in general. I really do think that you'll enjoy them. Leave a comment below if you did end up listening to them and which songs are your favorites. As always, if you have any suggestions for artists that you think I should be covering, leave them in the comments below. Once again, I'm pretty ahead of schedule with things right now, so I have a lot of videos already written and ready to go, so your suggestions might not be taken into effect right away, but I will consider them nonetheless. Be sure to subscribe for videos just like this every single Wednesday and sometimes Mondays, along with Forever Spinning, which is basically just a history lesson on classic albums. So that is it. Go listen to Soul Glow, wear a mask when you're outside, and if you get a chance and you have some money to do so, make sure to support some of your local artists that you enjoy on Bandcamp, especially on Bandcamp Fridays, where they get the full revenue that they make. It's tough times out there, so if you can do it, if you can swing it, make sure to help your favorite artists out. Alright, that is all, and I will see you next week. Happy listening.